Glenn, what's today?
Did you guys do anything this week?
Sunday, August 3rd.
Oh, we walked down to the Embarcadero.
Okay, well the groom is on his way.
Of your body, but bones are too heavy to come up. Switched into a single cell of wood.
Inviting us all to share today in this really special day. Now, you all might notice some unique things about this wedding venue. Perhaps it's the fire escapes, or the honking cars going by, or the graffiti on the walls. I think this is a beautiful choice for a wedding. I think it's a beautiful choice because it shows the closet romantic that Carrie is. Despite her practical self. And I think it shows the playful and willing servant that Glenn has been to indulge her. 6 years ago, for those of you who don't know, 6 years ago, Glenn and Carrie were both living in San Francisco. Carrie was working full-time at Paul Frank, just down the street. Also a full-time student, and so daily needed a caffeine fix. And so couldn't have gotten her coffee anywhere, but Box Foods, which is just right here, had the added perk of a cute barista named Glenn. So for 6 months, Carrie came on a regular basis, came by the Box Foods, had her coffee, told her coworkers, I have the cutest barista. Someday I'm going to marry him. Their unrequited flirtation finally found its outlet as Glenn was about to move cross-country back to Florida. So about 10 days before he moved, he worked up the guts and asked Carrie out. Carrie coincidentally was about to move 2 weeks later and figured she had nothing to lose, so said yes. 10 days turned into an excuse for Glenn to come back 3 days later, fly cross-country from Florida back to San Francisco, just for the drive up to Seattle with Carrie. And that was the first time I had the opportunity to meet Glenn. And I can attest to the fact that Carrie was not giving him any extra encouragement. For the next 5 months, she held him at arm's length, and Glenn pursued her. Until they started dating on Memorial Day 6 months later. So this alley really is significant for their relationship. It's the place that they met in between. Every day Carrie crossed this alley, kind of expectant and excited. And Glenn probably came to work the same way, looking forward to that cute customer. Another reason I like the alley is that it so well represents marriage. So an alleyway is a third way. You got busy streets that go on either side. You got an alley that's in between. An alley is a great symbol for a marriage, because there's now Glenn, and there's now Carrie, and there's now their relationship. There's their marriage. There's going to be times when things, naturally we feel like, it's the best thing for Glenn, but it may not be the best thing for Carrie. But we're going to do it anyway. It may not seem like the best thing for Carrie. Right? There will be times when it's the best thing for Carrie, but it may not seem like the best thing for Glenn. And in the same way, there's going to be times when it may not seem like the best thing for either of them individually, but for their relationship and for their marriage, they're going to make choices to be one, to be together, just like an alley. I also like an alley because it's kind of it's a public space, and they're publicly declaring their love for each other and their commitment to one another in the sanctity of the city, not just the sanctity of the church. I also like an alley because it's the gritty back door to the busy travel streets. Their public personas, their public lives, their neatly combed hair and made up, dressed up, selves. Everyone sees the front door and travels down the busy streets. But the two of you will experience both the dirty laundry hanging from the proverbial fire escapes and the hidden gems that turn overlooked alleyways into romantic nooks. The often hidden faults that aren't shown to the world, and the yet fully to be revealed treasures that are your developing characters. I also, Jesus himself, I think, had a thing for alleyways. As he said, small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and few find it. You guys have both walked down a small and narrow path to get here today. Most people would have let 10 wonderful days stay as a nice memory. 3,000 miles is just too far to cross. But Glenn chose to pursue, to be one of the few who find it, by flying cross country and traveling back to help Carrie home. The well-traveled and wide road would have been to walk away when, after 5 months of not dating, Carrie said to Glenn at Smith's restaurant, "Even if we were living in the same city, I wouldn't date you." The people on the busy street might have called it quits when, after a year of living in Seattle and Glenn having a hard time finding a fulfilling job, needing to move back to Tampa, the people on the busy street might have called it quits. But Carrie chose that as an opportunity, to place Glenn's opportunities ahead of her own stability and comfortableness, and moved first to Tampa and then to Kansas City. I love the alley as a representation of marriage and of a reminder for you guys of the pursuit, of the challenge, of the difficulties that are in your past and already overcome and ones ahead. So with that, we have some vows to take. So we'll start with Glenn. Glenn, do you take Carrie to be your lawfully wedded wife? Well, just a second. You take Carrie to be your lawfully wedded wife. Do you promise that she will be your Boston Red Sox? That you will take her from this day forward to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And that is the way that you would have acknowledged yes, saying I do.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. No, great. You can do the same thing. Carrie, do you take Glenn to be your lawfully wedded husband? You promise not to talk during key moments during Red Sox games. To have him from this day forward, to have and to hold, for better or for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, to cherish until death do you part?
Absolutely, I do.
And now, do you have symbols that show your commitment to one another? And also these are symbols to show future baristas that you are in fact taking. Glenn, as you take Carrie's left hand in yours, and place the ring on her ring finger, repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
And Carrie, taking Glenn's hand, his left hand in yours, placing the ring on his ring finger, repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
With this ring, I thee wed.
By the power invested in me by the state of California, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss your bride. And for the first time, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Glenn and Carrie Williamson.
Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along?
Where are the bride and groom? Wait.
Gotta give it louder than that.
We got everyone? Everyone's looking at me? Great. Okay.
Welcome everyone to Glenn and Carrie's wedding. I wanted to go ahead and make a toast right off the bat to my brother, so if everybody would hold up their glasses really quick.
Cheers.
Keep them hold. Alright, I wanted to toast to my brother Glenn. I know it's very hard for you, and also very extremely overdue, but I wanted to personally thank you for finally, after 26 years, admitting that I truly am the best man. And it's really hard, so thank you. It means a lot to me. On a serious note, Glenn's not just a brother, but he's also my best friend. He's guided me through life, teaching me to be hopeful and not to take shit from anyone, kind of a Williamson attitude. It's actually kind of a reference in the sporting events, but Glenn's also taught me to this attitude in all domains of life. He's taught me to never give up, and as Michael Scott says from The Office, if any of you are familiar, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Also, it's a quote by Wayne Gretzky that Michael Scott stole. So that definitely goes. And I honestly can't believe my older brother is getting married. This is the same older brother that I had to cut steaks for him until he was 14 years old. Literally took piece of steak knife. Kind of true.
It's very
There's
true.
a lot of pictures to prove it. You just add me on Facebook. One of the first memories I have of Glenn is when my sister was born. All he really wanted to do was ever hold her and take care of her. And this is a quality that has become more apparent as the years have passed. Just the other day, Kenzie actually showed me a picture, and it was questions asking Glenn, what do you like most about being a big brother? And he answered, I can help Mackenzie. He's been wanting to take care of those around him since he was young, and I can see him doing that with Carrie every day, and will continue to do so. So it's a great quality to have, and we love you for that. And I knew that they were strong together when they were willing to have a long-distance relationship after only spending 10 days together, and any girl that is willing to stay with my brother after only 10 days of knowing has got the best of them, so we don't know. I know she's good for my brother because she balances him out, and they complement each other very well. And I'm excited to have you as a part of my family, Carrie, as my new sister Carrie. And you'll be a great addition to the family, and much needed as well. And I actually wanted to finish this speech with a toast, so if you put your glasses down, if you want to just throw them back up. Alright, this is also from The Office. There's a trend going, we love The Office, it's part of our life. Michael Scott says, they say that your wedding day goes by in such a flash that you're lucky if you even get a piece of your own cake. I say that's crazy. I say, let them eat cake. Margaret Thatcher said that about marriage. Smart broad. So I want to say congrats to Glenn and Carrie, and also, even more important, happy birthday, Tom Brady.
Thank God you know.
I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke or to light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. He says, Bill, I believe this is killing me, as a smile ran away from his face. Well, I'm sure that I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. Oh, la la la, di-di-da. La la, di-di-da, da-da. Now Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife, and he's talking with David, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. And the waitress is practicing politics as the businessmen slowly get stoned. Yes, they're sharing a drink they call loneliness, but it's better than drinking alone. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling alright. It's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, and the manager gives me a smile, 'cause he knows that it's me they've been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. And the piano, it sounds like a carnival, and the microphone smells like a beer, and they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? Oh, la la la, di-di-da. La la, di-di-da, da-da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight.
And we need everybody to dance, including the wedding party. Just a quick little thing from my man. Yeah.
So, I hope everybody enjoys the performance it's about to happen. Okay? I'm gonna do a little bit of beatboxing right now. A little bit of dancing color behind. Dollars.
Bring this beat down. I wanna see you dance. Raise your hands, baby. Techno beat. Go ahead and do a push-up. Now let's get ready to break your pants. I'm ready for you to break it down and do a push-up.
can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined the night, and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Touching warm, reaching out.